This video shows the testing of the electric 9F locomotive and tender together. The testing was originally planned to take place in autumn 2022, but hospital visits and weather intervened. It was then rescheduled for the spring of 2023, but again circumstances prevented it. However, Wednesday, September the 13th, 2023 seemed a propitious date. Good weather, no hospital visits, and help was available for my son Alan and neighbour Paul. The morning arrived, but unexpectedly 2 sets of contractors had also selected this date. Contractor 1 decided to knock down the house opposite. Contractor 2 decided to cut the tall next door hedge which ran parallel to the test track. I don't have a photo of the hedge before the cut, but it was originally twice as high. Neither operation was a killer. It was noisy, but I decided to press on. Another suitable date might not be available until 2024. Furthermore, I'm now 82 and age plus medical problems have decided me to sell the 9F plus all its supporting equipment. If you're interested, let me know. The loco was on a short length of track at the back of the bench and the tender on a rolling road. The first thing was to raise my hydraulic lifting table to the same height as the bench. This photo shows the short length of transfer track for the tender. It was quite easy to lift the tender off the rolling road and onto this track. Wooden blocks were fitted either end to stop the tender rolling off. You can also see the 2 lifting jacks which are later used to raise the loco and lower it onto the test track. It was quite easy to use a trolley to transfer the tender to the test track and couple it to a truck. The 33 ampere-hour tender batteries had given up the ghost long ago, so I ran the system from a 12-volt car battery, which was placed in the truck, and used the radio control module to run the assembly up and down the track.
Okay.
The next job was to fetch the locomotive. It's considerably heavier than the tender, but it was moved in a similar fashion. The loco on its short length of track was slid off the trolley and positioned at right angles to the track. It was then rotated to bring it into alignment. For the tender, it had been a simple process of then sliding the tender onto the test track. However, the loco required a bit more engineering. The 2 jacks allowed the loco to be raised. The transfer track was then slid out and the loco smoothly lowered onto the test track without drama. The next job is to fit the hand controller instead of the radio control module. That was when we hit the first problem. Pin 1 on the cable connector became bent. The cable was a standard SVGA cable. I had chosen this since it could easily be changed. However, unfortunately I'd forgotten where my spare cable was. So rather than spend time looking for it, I decided to press on using the radio control. After all, In a previous video I'd run the tender on the track using the hand controller and Loco and Tender together on the bench, so I didn't need to prove that aspect. Trying to couple the Loco to the tender using the Winson drawbar, I hit a second problem. The drawbar was too short. Making a longer one would be an easy task, but for the purpose of the test I decided to just tie the two units together. I then ran the combination forwards and backwards several times. Having proved that, I repeated the operation with me sitting on the truck. This was followed by several still shots. Paul had a go. And took a video looking down the line. We followed with a few more still shots. It was then time to get everything back into the house. This photo shows the result of the house opposite demolition. This brings us to the end of the Electric 9F videos. As I said at the beginning, I'm now 82 and due to medical issues I've decided to sell the 9F. Quite how I'll do this I've not yet decided, but copies of all the diagrams and videos will be included. However, I've plenty of other things to produce videos of, so keep looking.